A ballerina's perspective, from performing with New York City Ballet and Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater to publishing poetry books and mentoring kids and teens. Join us in a weekly discussion with experts to gain mental health clarity and achieve growth in moral consciousness. Give our show a 5 stars, comment, share, and come along for the ride. Welcome back to another episode of the Growth, Grace, and Gratitude podcast. Today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Arthur Burnett, who is going to talk a lot about bringing advocacy to men's and boys' health and wellness, which is so wonderful. Dr. Burnett is a world-renowned urologist at Johns Hopkins, celebrated for his groundbreaking research that led to the development of Viagra. He has authored The Manhood RX and other acclaimed books focused on men's health and overall wellness. As a surgeon, he has performed more than 3,000 prostate cancer surgeries, pioneering techniques that help men retain both physical and emotional quality of life, as seen in the New York Times, CBS News, and American Urological Association. So thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on the podcast and sharing more about your work with bringing boys and men health and expanding that.
Well, it's my delight to join you, Ms. Bliss. My pleasure.
And speaking about destigmatizing men's health, there is this focus on compassion and whole person care. How did you find that this to be kind of your passion, your purpose in life?
Well, I guess came forward in this area by way of professional training, but also maybe personal interest. I trained as a urologic surgeon and very much involved in men's health. I also have a good sensitivity to uh, ethnic disparities, and growing up in a community where I did see there were challenges for men and young boys. I felt that I perhaps could use my kind of experience and my background here to have some influence.
That's amazing. And it's interesting when it comes to Viagra. I think a lot of people are becoming more consciously aware of testosterone and levels, and I think there is a rise seemingly with men, even younger boys, having lower testosterone and having this low kind of motivational aspirations for life. Have you seen any correlations about connecting low testosterone to perhaps having less of a direction towards purpose for boys and men? Is there any correlation there?
Well, not so much really. I think there's a lot of emphasis on manhood in the way of hormones and testosterone and perhaps kind of the sense that men have to be kind of tough and mean, and testosterone is related to all of that kind of thing. I think testosterone is part of what men are about. I mean, it's part of our physical makeup. It's part of how men have cognitive functioning and thoughts and so forth, even physical and sexual and even thought processes are related to male hormones, testosterone being that. But I'd like not to think that that should drive us in a way in a way that's not purposeful. I think purpose comes about from various influences, proper mentorship, proper community support, having a sense of wanting to do something purposeful in one's life. So there are a lot of influences that have to do with that. Testosterone may just be one part of what a man's all about, and let it not dominate the whole story.
Interesting, yes. And when it comes to Viagra and men who think they need it, what are the kind of qualifications if men would need that, and why would they need that?
Well, we talk here about our interventions to help men with sexual function, and Viagra, also known by the generic term sildenafil, is a medication that I had a role in the original science developing 30-ish years ago, and it represents a true medical therapy that helps with erection disorders, having difficulty with erections called erectile dysfunction. We now know that this is a therapy that can help men with this disorder. So I think that certainly we have that therapy available under the right indications, under a proper workup and evaluation. We can treat these men who have erectile dysfunction with this medication.
That's amazing. And do you do any kind of test to figure out why this is happening, or is this kind of just like to mend, to kind of cover up with dysfunction?
Well, this is a you know a story here that has many different perspectives related to it. I think that now that we are opening up the discussion and removing that taboo around men's sexual health and erectile dysfunction, hopefully we can be a little bit more honest and forthright about addressing men's health disorders and sexual dysfunction. And I think that to get to your broader discussion on this point, yes, I think men should understand that we should not look to just get treatments, from the locker room and from other sources, but really go see your physician, have a good health workup, get a good review of your overall health history, address health conditions that can relate to adverse health and sexual dysfunction. There are lifestyle factors that I think can play a big role in this discussion as well. And if it appears that there are health related conditions that need attention, get those corrected, but then move forward if necessary with a prescription for this medication.
Podpitch is the first and only software that finds, writes, and sends pitches to podcast hosts from your actual email address. Podpitch will make sure you get podcast bookings, guaranteed. Link in the description of the podcast. ClickFunnels easily build any type of online business and sales funnel in record time, no matter what your product, service, or niche, without any tech design or experience whatsoever. Try the ClickFunnels 14-day free trial. Link in the description of the podcast.
So you can see it's a big story here, and it's more than just simply you give a pill and go on about your way. We need to have a broader discussion with men about their general health.
Exactly. It's an integrative process kind of to bring it into your daily lifestyle. Yeah. And I work a lot with men in terms of connecting to the inner child and working with different traumas as like a life coach. So I do talk to a lot of men who have intimacy issues and they're kind of working through that. And a lot of times it does come down to like having a wound from childhood, having an emotional trauma that's influencing or affecting their ability to perform sexually or to have an intimate relationship because they have this a fear mentality where they feel unsafe within their own body. So interesting that there is kind of like a spiritual component that may possibly correlate or connect with the physicality of their health as well.
Well, I think you're commenting here wonderfully on the point that, we don't want to think about men just by way of, does their male organ work like it should or shouldn't work. We should think more broadly about a man as a person in a more holistic way and think about addressing sexual dysfunction and just general health issues in a biopsychosocial and cultural context and bring in all these aspects and really help that man really address various considerations that may have to do with his sexual dysfunction.
Yes, 100%. And in the Manhood RX, Every Man's Guide to Improving Sexual Health and Overall Wellness, what are some basic tips that whoever is listening to the podcast that they can kind of walk away from and learn how to kind of maintain their energy and their overall biological health?
Sure, sure. Well, I think we're touching on some of this as we're having this discussion, but right from the outset here, I would tell a man, understand that, you're not alone, that many men struggle with their sexual health. They struggle with intimacy. They struggle with interpersonal relationships. Let's remove the taboo. Let's find, a certain sense of purpose here as I want to get my health better. Find a good healthcare provider. You're a wonderful one to discuss what you're doing, Ari, but there may be others here who are general health practitioners. Open up the subject. Let's discuss this in a forthright and honest way, and let's address your best health. We want you to be better, and we want you to live a long life and be there for your family and your community. So let's just deal with it in a positive and constructive way.
Wonderful. Totally agree. If you're ready to shake off that daily stress, come join us for online beginner adult ballet and yoga classes each week to connect with the flow of movements and the art of ballet into perfect synergy. Come as you are and learn to love your body a little bit more and gain strength and flexibility with each class. All are welcome. Sign up at Ballet Arts Movement telovital@gmail.com. First class free. Telovital supports focus, energy, immunity, sleep, recovery, and resilience. Start feeling better today on a cellular level with zeolite, super green juice, micronutrient gut support, and more. Get over 50% off your first order for Telovital. Link in the description of the podcast. Unlock your best life with Soul app. Book a holistic wellness experience with a trained guide and start changing your life today with compassion practices, inner healing, food and diet, and so much more. Tap into a healthier and happier life with the number one purposeful living app in the US, the Soul app, link in the description of the podcast. Sanger Daniel's online seminar promoting a positive message of self-healing with bioenergy work together with live seminars and remote coaching. Use code BIO20 for a 20% discount for our audience. Link in the description of the podcast. And as a founder of Euromissions Works, this is a non-for-profit bringing critical urological care to communities in need worldwide. It's amazing. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Oh, absolutely. So, I learned long ago that there were many locations throughout the world in our local communities, but even worldwide, where there lack of resources and care is necessary. Being a specialist in the area of men's health and a urologic surgeon, so some surgeon and scientist and all the above, educator, mentor, all the above. I felt that I could have a larger role in our community and have gone about here with the humanitarian mission. I started a program here whereby I can travel to under-resourced areas in the world. I do a lot of free surgeries. I do a lot of counseling. I do a lot of mentorship and trying to develop the young surgeons and healthcare specialists in various regions of the world so they can carry on the best care for local communities.
That's amazing. Yes, you're doing fantastic work.
Well, it's my pleasure to do that, and I feel there's a certain reward that I gain from this. I just see how rewarding it is to see how we're improving care for our communities, for individuals, and also developing young talent out there. I have many mentees all around the world who are not, that I've had some influence in how they develop professionally and what they can give back to their communities as well.
That's amazing. It's super. I think it's wonderful when we are aligning ourselves to something that brings us passion, and I think that's where our work becomes like positive momentum forward into creation and helping shift different things in society, in communities where it's a whole process of progression. So it's wonderful work for sure.
Rewarded by it, and I feel that honoring the talents I've been given in a way and opportunities I've had is to go ahead and share some of that and give back. So give back to that. So that's my
It's
motivation as well.
amazing. And what is your favorite part about working with men and boys and like helping them through their difficulties and challenges?
Well, it's just that I think we all have life challenges. I've had my challenges. We all do. I think we can be honest about that, and certainly have had mentors. I've had opportunities, and so working with young men, young boys, trying to get them on the right track. There's so many unfortunate bad influences out there, influences that I'd like to think that is influencing our young men in directions that I don't think is perhaps the most honorable way of going about life. We don't need more men going into gangs. We don't need more men following violence. We don't need more men doing bad habits. And we need more respectful, courteous, and contributing individuals in our society. So I just want to see that. And when I see that kind of shift in mentality and the direction in that kind of purpose, I'm just really, truly pleased to see that.
That's amazing. And yeah, thank you for giving a voice to men in this positive, productive way to help them be able to consciously shift. I think there is this collective masculine rising where men are evolving and they are wanting to choose different outlets and different ways to holistically integrate into their daily lives. So thank you for being part of the conversation and discussion to bring that momentum forward.
Well, I appreciate your kind words, and I think all of us can do something. This program I think is wonderful that you're doing, and I'm just delighted to be part of it and to share some of these positive words and directions. So let us keep doing the right
Yes,
thing.
perfect. Exactly. And Where can people connect with you and see all of your content and get your books?
I do have a small network around me of individuals who can help with communications, and in any way that I can be positive and supportive, please be in touch.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Arthur Burnett, for coming on the podcast and sharing your story and your wisdom to help the health community expand and heal.
Well, thank you so much for having me. All right, my pleasure. You have a great
Thank you
day.
so much. You too.